We have with us today Edgar Nuxa, who is the Global Black Belt D365 Finance and Operations at Microsoft, joining us from Switzerland. Hi, Edgar. Welcome to X Plus Tech Talks. Let's have a perspective from the global overview. Why should people be considering this change? Why is this important?
So, from my perspective, especially for customers who have been using legacy AX products, some of them have been using them literally for decades, is that this will be the last ERP or core financial system upgrade they're going to do. Because one of the things we have achieved as Microsoft in the cloud is the true evergreen application. The fact that once the customers are on our cloud platform, they're using Dynamics 365 in the cloud, they truly have an evergreen, always up-to-date ERP application, which is a massive change from the way how we used to work just 5 years ago. Every time a new version came out, it was a huge investment of time, money, lost hair, just getting all the time on the latest version. It's really world changing. The fact that now we can always have customers up to date on the latest version, enjoying the latest features, especially what we see in the last couple of years, Dynamics coming closer to the Power Platform, to utilizing various Azure capabilities such as the Data Lake, Power BI, intelligence AI services. It's absolutely fantastic, and the return on that investment, it's almost infinite in a sense.
In real world terms, if you will, in addition to maybe not losing quite as much hair, what would be the main benefits in business terms that you see?
There's two aspects to the business benefits in the real world to our customers. One is the financial. The total cost of ownership is considerably better than it used to be when running on a cloud platform. Of course, it's also possible to implement the project more cheaper and more efficiently. The time to go live is considerably smaller than it used to be back in the day. And the other aspect is the ability to innovate. As we see that especially now in COVID times, where the customers all of a sudden needed to switch their supply chain. They needed to find, for a practical example is customers who all of a sudden need to have e-commerce. And now with the Dynamics 365 Commerce, we of course have an e-commerce platform integrated with the ERP system. And back in the day, it was very difficult to be able to quickly deploy an e-com system which is integrated with your backend. Now it's possible to achieve within weeks generally. Of course, it depends on specifics. But the ability to innovate using Azure technologies and the speed of innovation which can be achieved by using Azure technologies, keeping up with the market, keeping up with the conditions in the world as we now see, they're very challenging. It's phenomenal. Nothing like that could be done with legacy on-premise applications which just exist in their little shell running on locally without using the greater benefits of the advancements what we see in cloud technologies in recent years.
Can you give us some examples of implementations, really particularly successful ones that you're really proud of?
Yeah, the tasty bits is that the project was implemented in just 4 months, and if I have the number correctly, they only needed 12 weeks to be able to go live with the point of sales, which shows how fast it's actually possible these days to go live with a Dynamics application. Back in the day of AX 2009, typical implementation would take 12 months at least 12 months, at least in my experience. And of course, the fact that the product has evolved, and we as Microsoft, we have been investing, of course, in functionality on the cloud application, because we need to invest in the future rather than just pulling the past with us. And there is a massive difference in functionality, in the breadth of capabilities within the core application between AX 2012 and finance operations. It's just the how there's considerably less customizations the customers need to do. In fact, these days, and this is our official approach, so you should customize as little as possible, use configuration, go live as fast as possible. That I don't think that was truly a possibility back in the day when we were working with AX 2012, especially the first versions. R3, of course, is an excellent ERP system. But what we have with FNO, it's actually a considerable step forwards, and for customers, again, I have to reiterate, the product breadth is considerably wider than it used to be in AX 2012 days. That, of course, again enables the customers to go live with as little customizations as possible. They can configure the product and just go live with it, and that's very, very important, because in my experience, that's the biggest problem and the most problematic projects what I've seen, what I've participated in, is the projects which get stuck because there's so much additional work which needs to be done to be able to get the customer, to get the implementation in the state where the customer is happy with, ready to go live with it, and that limit is now much closer. So it's so to say. So it's the product, the functionality, what we now have within the Dynamics application allows the customers to go live much faster than it used to be the case with legacy AX products, and that the pace of the acceleration in the past years is also considerably faster, because for us as a software vendor, having customers who are using the latest version gives us the ability to invest time where it actually matters, is in advancing the product, rather than dealing simultaneously with 4 legacy versions of AX applications, which used to be the case. I used to be in support. A lot of time was spent just making sure that the customers can still continue working because they were using 10-year-old ERP systems. That's no longer the case, which allows us to innovate better as a software vendor, which in turn gives benefits to our customers who are actually using the Dynamics application. Of course, evergreen story, when we build something new and exciting within the application, it's very easy to have that in production really fast, because as a part of the evergreen applications, all our customers are on the latest version and have the latest features.
So if you were to give one advice to customer while approaching the change, what would that be? You've got totally different perspective, and it's very interesting for us. So if you were to advise and to say something out of your experience, what is the crucial point in going to the cloud in opposite to staying on premise? Is there anything like that?
It's I have an advice I give to all my customers, but it's not even cloud related. It's just universal advice. Again, from the benefits I just explained of everything, which all the benefits of the cloud, that just makes that advice more important. So one of the things what I recommend, so what I would say to all my customers, disregarding of the product, actually, every time you upgrade, every time you move, reevaluate what you have, especially when it comes to comparing AX 2012 and finance operations. There's a lot of stuff which we have now implemented in the standard product, which required customizations back in the day. And even if we haven't implemented something in the standard product now, the Power Platform, Power Automate, Power Apps, Power BI, all those tools allow us to have those changes, so have that necessary gap filled by those technologies in a considerably easier way than it used to be by writing custom X++ in X 2012. So reevaluate your application and see what you really need, and only take to the cloud what you actually need, and see what you can actually redo in the cloud in a more efficient way by using the new tools and the new technologies. For example, if universal recommendation, if you have invested a lot of cubes and classical business intelligence approach on SQL Server on-premise, I would say have a very good look at the data lake, Synapse, Power BI, and the capabilities with those what come out of the box with the product in FNO. Like that part of really needs to be redone by using the new product, the tools available, which are much better than what we used to have 6 years ago. So the core of the message is reevaluate, see what you actually need in the cloud, and don't be shy to trim down the fat which has been built up by years of customizing the on-premise application.
Great insight. Thank you. Yeah, and totally aligned with what we advise the customers to do as well. Thank you.